topic, and we've been pushing really hard. So, you know, if you go back a year, we weren't in the social networking space proper, and we were looking at the landscape there, and what we saw was a kind of throwback to the era of walled gardens. You know, that what we saw back in '93 and '94, before the internet really became popular as a mainstream tool. The dominant mode of interacting online for consumers was proprietary online services like CompuServe, Prodigy,
Sure.
and AOL. And we saw that social networking, as it was becoming a really big phenomenon, was pursuing this same kind of outdated model where a company is asserting that they own all of the data and content and restricting the user's ability to mash it up with other services. Obviously, Plaxo's always been about helping you have control of your data and be able to use it in a variety of tools and services. So we thought, why not try and shake things up a bit? And so with Pulse, not only did we innovate in the area of categorization, but we innovated in the area of openness. So Pulse really is a next generation social network where we're letting you see what's going on in the lives of the people you know and care about across, at this stage, some 40 different services. So you can hook up your Flickr account for photos and bring those in. But it's not just bringing the data in, it's also being able to take it out, to be able to live stream it through a widget to your blog, or literally take the data out to another tool or service.
Now, is the I botched that one. Let me try that again. The Open Social API, is that having any effect on your business?
Yeah, so Open Social is a project that got kicked off by Google and is now this kind of pan-web effort to really change the rules of the game around social networking and provide a common way. The first target of Open Social was really, if I'm writing applications to run on social networks, Open Social was set out to provide a way to write the application once and have it run on multiple networks.
Right.
That's really cool, it's useful, it's great for those developers of the various widgets out there. But as soon as that idea started to take hold, one of the things we are key champions for pops up, which is, what about the data? And so that's really the next stage of this, which is being able to not only have your applications as a developer run on multiple networks, but as a user to be able to use all of these different social media tools and have access to my data there. And the best example of that so far, I think, is what Google has launched recently with something called Friend Connect. And it's still in a kind of alpha state. There's only a few example sites running. But there, the idea is let any website operator be able to turn their site into a social site without having to write a whole lot of code. And that's using some of the technologies of the Open Social project and applying it to make it really easy. And there, Plaxo is a key partner. And one of the things you can do is on any of these sites, you can sign in either with OpenID or with your Google credentials. And then you can say, here's where I keep my friends list, or here's where I keep my address book. And you can link in, for example, Plaxo. And there you have access to that local portion of the social graph that you've built up within Plaxo. You can now use it on all of these different sites. One of the interesting controversies right now is that one of the other options there is Facebook. But if you look carefully next to the Facebook logo, it says that this feature's been disabled by Facebook. So obviously there's some unresolved tensions between the various models around giving users access to their data.
And I understand that there were some early on some challenges with how much data was shared and how to give the users the control that they need over sharing what they want to share.
Yeah, and I think the good news is that all of the big players now are, in just 1 year's time, have already shifted gears and are no longer thinking about primarily how to preserve a walled garden model, but actually literally everyone is trying to figure out, how do we open up, and how do we open up in a way that preserves privacy?
That's fantastic. So I feel like I'm in presence of a celebrity here because I understand that you have a famous TV show online.
I don't think famous, but we do have a pilot episode up that we just put up last Friday. It's a show that a few of us who are passionate about this topic have decided to try and help people understand what's going on in this arena of opening up the social web, and it's called The Social Web TV.
And is that how you would get to it online? The social web TV? Or?
thesocialweb.tv is one of the ways to get there, or thesocialwebtv.com. Both should work.
Okay, so I'm sure that many of our viewers are now going to click off and immediately go to that site and listen and see the latest episode. Are there any parting thoughts that you want to leave with potential people that would use your service, potential customers?
I'd say the main thing here is that we're really early in the social phase of the web, and right now it's kind of broken. You know, if you are the kind of person who wants to try a bunch of different social networks or social media tools, we're living through the most painful phase right now, where on each site I've got to come up with a new username password pair, re-enter my profile data and upload my photo and import my webmail account and figure out who my friends are. And all of that stuff is making that a painless process is what those of us working on opening up the social web are passionate about. So now is a good time to experiment, but trust me, things are about to get a lot better.
That's very exciting. So we've been speaking today with John McCrea, who's the Vice President of Marketing of Plaxo, and we're here at the Voice Peering Forum Conference. This is the Summer '08 event in San Francisco, and we are now in June, and we are very excited to have you on our show, and thank you here for being here today. My name is Rich Tehrani. I am the President of TMCnet and TMC, and my web address is tmcnet.com or Tehrani.com for my blog. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.
It's great.